Dsap is a simple web interface that allows you to relate your database tables as if they would be part of a spreadsheet. It is very simple. As you can see here, we have an Access database, one MySQL, another MySQL, a DB2 database, SQL Server. Each one of them has tables, and you can create relation between those tables as if they would be in a spreadsheet. For example, if I take this table, I can say that this value is equal to this plus square root of an access table plus DB2 table, and so on. So the value now is not calculated based on those values, and if they change, this value will be changed. If this value is used somewhere, it will be recalculated. We can see the effect here, since this value up to that one are all integrated together. They are all based on each other and all depend on this value. As you have noticed already, is the border shows what type of value is behind. So here we have a constant, here we have a formula. So when I change this value to 1, for example, the whole block gets recalculated, including the conditional formatting. Now this is the base of a spreadsheet, but as you know, we rarely use it like that. We don't want to see those kind of large formula. We want to see simple formula. So that's why we provided in Dsap the possibility to have formulas, user formula. So they are a document actually, and with document what is available is the versioning. So they are all version, which will be useful later when we bring back older version from the history. Let me show you. Here we have a file and we can lock it, unlock it, and the file is on the server, so we can download it on this machine here, which I just did. And if we look at that file, it's a pretty simple file. It's just the formula itself. So this is the formula, and you can use it anywhere. So for that column, it's used all over in that column. This is basic formulas, but often we need to create much more complex calculation. We need to create calculation that involves programs and C program and all kind of more complex information to calculate even one value. That's why we provided the possibility to have store proc. So for example, you can have store proc here. There is one in DB2. This one is in MySQL, is this one here. And it, as before, it is a file that you can lock and unlock. It's a file on the server, so you can download it here, and you can use it. So for example, if I say this value is equal to that procedure, now the border is in blue to show that this is a store proc calculating it. If I change the value there, the store proc in the database is rerun and the values are changed. And if it affects other values, they are calculated. Now this is giving more latitude, but in some cases we want to have possibility to make very complex calculation, and calculation that would involve also to show information like reference, maybe graphic, maybe a MATLAB document or something like that, or Excel document. So in Dsap we provided the possibility to put calculation document. So if I click on this, I can bring a calculation document like this one, which is an Excel document. Now the Excel document, I put it on the server, and now these two values, as you can see, are now in yellow, showing that they are calculated by this document. Now as before, it's a document that can be lock and unlock, and I can download it. And if we look at this document, it's a very simple document. It's very simple Excel. There is no code behind. There's just two sheets, input and output, that define where is the data coming from. In the case of input, where you define the table and the position and all this. And when the value changed, Dsap reopened the file, placed the new value in, and here in your sheets, you can put any calculation, reference, graphic that you want, and in the output you decide where your data is going to be placed. So in which database, which table, which column. So by doing that, these values are calculated by Excel database. Now, as before, if I change the value here, the document is reopened, the values are recalculated, and the effect of those values are calculated as well. So this is the base of Dsap. It provides the possibility to have all your data from different databases connected together. It is actually an integration bus, but with a very simple and useful or user-friendly interface. Actually, this might be the problem. It might be too easy now to change data, and everybody could change data and change the way it's calculated. So in order to have a little bit better control on this, there is access right. So you can decide which, for a group, a column in particular, you can decide what kind of access this person will have. So in the case we were looking at, in this table, the user is here. It's written as Francois. He's an administrator, and because of this, he has full access, so he can do whatever he wants. But in this sheet, the user is Stefan. He's an operator, so you can just see 4 columns, and even in those columns, in this one, he can change the value. But in this one here, you can see the formula behind, but he cannot change it. And this one, he cannot even do anything. He cannot even see the formula behind. So those are possibilities that give you the possibility to place different access for different group of person. For example, your customer could have access to every data that you want him to see and how it's been calculated, and the different user manager could see data but not the formula, and so on. So you could have a good control on who's doing what and who can do what. But at the end, it can always end up like this, that something has changed and nobody knows why, nobody knows who has done that. And this tool, the goal of this tool, the primary goal of this tool is configuration control of data. So in order to do that efficiently, we have provided a history, which tells us, for example, if I click here and I bring the history, it tells me that this value here that I clicked on has changed from 13 to 14 on that date, because of this formula is using this value that has changed. And this value has changed because this one has changed. We can follow here the path. And going back up the way to the top, which is the value we know is the upper leftmost value, and that value has been changed by, if we look at it carefully, Francois, and he changed it from 5 to 6 on that date, and it was to solve DR number 2. You can assign bug tracker and discrepancy report to your changes. So for example, in that case, I've assigned DR number 2, and I can get the DR by clicking on that button, so I can see exactly excuse me, why those changes have been done and what has been done exactly, because also in the DR all the information is saved of what has been changed. Here we can see actually our file, our Excel file that we have added. So we get all the information and all the history about it. We can also go back in time. So for example, if I look at the previous event and go back a couple of previous changes I've done, I can get the list of all the changes here. And this is what has been changed. One of them is our Excel data document that we have loaded. As you can see, we loaded the new version, which is revision 539. There was already a version there because the system has seen that file before. Now what I can do is I can even place it back. So I can say, okay, now put back that old version. So I just do like this, place back, and now this is the old version. It's no different than the version we had right now, so there is no difference in the number, but the version is the one used previously. So that gives us the possibility to handle pretty well history. Now, one other question we might have is, before I change that number, I might want to know what it will affect, or inversely or backward, to know what's affecting it. So you have the forward dependency and backward dependency. So if I click on backward dependency, for example, it tells me that the value is this, and it's calculated by that formula, and this formula is right here, and it is calculated out of those values here. Some are constant, some are formula based on other constant, and so on. So I get the whole tree of dependency, and I can go here and load the table that is affecting it and find out about the relation in between. So it gets pretty easy to find out how to change values and how to affect them and what will be the effect. So far we have the possibility to make the history and look at what will happen and everything, and we have a good relation in between all our databases and tables. But at the end, we want the number to make something. We want the number to change something. Because right now the number changed, but there is no effect. So we provided the possibility here to add scripts. So for example, you can add a prompt batch file, or you can have a Java jar, or even a class. So for example, if I change this value from 55 to 44, there is a script that starts, and on the server, there is this line that just appeared in the file saying the value has changed from 55 to 44, and this is the location. Excuse me. So with that information, you can do whatever you want. This is just an example. So it provides the possibility to drive anything you want. You can update your GUI, you can update your application, you can start a pump. In reality, there is no limit in what you want to do and what you can do. So this is about the basic of Dsap. There is more functionality, but at this time I think it's a good overview. If you are interested, please contact us. The address is www.seconnect.com, and you can contact us with this flap where you can place all your information, and we will be very glad to contact you. Thank you. Have a nice day.